Welcome to the podcast. My guests today from the Crawford Success Center at North Central State College are Nate Harvey, he's to my left, and Pat Hargis, and she waving out there to our people that's looking in on the podcast. And so today you're going to learn a lot about the nursing program that's going on through North Central State College and what we're doing specifically here up at the Success Center in Bucyrus. Nate, as manager of the Success Center, we've got a lot going on up there. And as I'm going to say this again, spring semester starts in January.
Right, in the cold.
Yes, it does not start in March. It starts in January. So all I can tell you, folks, is, get moving.
Right. We're just winding down the fall semester. We've had a good amount of college credit courses at the center, and it's just been a great semester. Definitely the best one since I've been the manager, kind of post-COVID, and getting more life in the building again, and developing meaningful relationships with our students and helping propel them into their futures. And so we're winding the fall semester down, and now we're looking towards the spring semester. So if you're still interested in getting started, the time is now optimally, getting everything set up before Christmas break and getting yourself set up so that come January, you're ready to rock and roll.
There you go. Now, speaking of rock and roll, Pat Hargis next to you there, she's the pre-PN Success Facilitator. What in the world is that fancy title? I mean, does that get you a lot of money with that, or what? What does that get you?
No, unfortunately not money, but it's a high satisfaction job. What my job is to do is to speak with people that are looking into the practical nursing program. Once they decide to dip their toe in the water, I lead them through the process. I help them with the paperwork, and then there's a test. That's a big test they need to take called the TEAS test that tests them on math and science, reading and English, and I run a workshop to show them how to study, and I'm just basically the middle person to go between them. If they have questions, I try to answer them. If I can't answer them, I go to someone at the college that can. So
well, I like that because I like that because you are helping them, you are facilitating them in a process, and we want them to be successful in that process. So I kind of call this, in simplified Dave Bush language, hand-holding and helping people through this process, because it can be very intimidating. And your part in this, Pat, if I understand correctly, is to kind of ease that for people and help them to ease them in. It's kind of like, I always tell it's like a horse at the Kentucky Derby gate, when you just got to get them to settle down before the bell goes off, when they're out of the gate, because you don't want to come in last. They want him to win the race. You don't want to, but it takes time. You got to pace it. So you really help people navigate this system.
That's my job.
And Pat just does a great job.
Yes, she does.
Getting people interested, helping people through all the ABCs of filling out what needs to be completed, but then ultimately passing the baton and helping them get successfully in the program and on their way into a high-demand career that will help our community.
We're blessed here at the Success Center. We have wonderful people, Nate and Pat and Joel Lyles and
Hannah White.
Hannah White. The name I want to say, White, but she's on television, and that's why I always have to forget I get at times. My mind gets that way. Yeah, Hannah. I know Hannah because we've had Hannah on here, but they all do a tremendous job. You come in there, you'll be treated respectfully, and quite frankly, I don't know much you guys can't navigate people through and help them through. If you really want to get an education, you can get one, and guess what? You can get it right here in Bucyrus, Ohio. You can come up here to the Success Center, and we all have hurdles, gone through things. And you know what? We're trying to lower those hurdles and help you get through it. Nothing is impossible. Things can be achieved, but are you willing out there, anybody that I would say on the spot, are you willing to come in there and say, okay, yeah, now I'm willing to follow some things? You got to be willing. If you're not willing, it's going to be tough. But you guys up there do a good job of guiding people through. I can't say enough about it, and you know I do because I do a lot of promotion for you folks. As a trustee in that, I'm really sold on the Success Center, and I think everybody in the community knows that.
Yeah,
So,
I think mainly people that come through our doors definitely after the fact, or they say, I'm so glad I came in. I'm so glad I took that step. That's the most important thing, is just getting up and coming in, and then from there we can help get you started and give you that care and treatment that you deserve.
There you go. So we're transitioning now through I guess we'd say fall, winter. Because spring starts in January, so we're in this period right now. We're preparing people for spring. Now you've got some other things, some workforce development things going on up there,
Yeah,
right?
there's always opportunities. If you're an employer out there or an individual that needs some skills that brushed up, we have an introduction to supervision class that we'll be hosting again in the spring. The dates are still to be announced. But whether that's for an introductory supervisor or a veteran supervisor, we have 2 different tiers of programs there. We have an intro and advanced version for Microsoft Excel, so if you need the computer training. And then we're now launching a new QuickBooks training in partnership with Mizik Miller accounting firm. So we're just continuing to add more of the workshop boot camps as well for people that want that same-day training and continue in their job and get the skills.
Well-known, good people, Mizik Miller, and they're good working with us and working at Success Center. They've been around here for years. And got a good, excellent reputation. So it's nice that we're tied in with them. Practical Nursing Program,
Yes.
LPN, and then sometimes we hear it referred to as PN.
Yes. That's just a technicality the college uses. It's a practical nursing program, so they shorten it to PN. And then once the person graduates and passes their boards, then they become the LPN, but it's really interchangeable.
Now, how long does this take, to this program, the LPN?
Their nursing courses only take 2 semesters.
Okay.
Some people take a semester before they start taking their nursing programs to take 3 courses: anatomy and physiology, nutrition, and microbiology, 1, 2, or 3 of them, to lighten their load while they're taking their practical nursing courses, because many of the people are working, and so it lightens their load.
Well, and it's a demanding curriculum. We're not going to fool with people and say, well, this is, we can't just wave a magic wand and say it's going to be this way. These are, they don't, you earn a degree, they don't give you a degree. All right, and there's certain criteria you have to follow. So that's why I go back to why your job is very important, because you're pacing people, but you got to know where to start. And some people, maybe science wasn't their thing, so maybe now I need a little extra help in there. Correct? Isn't that pretty much to tweak a lot to try to help to individual, because we want you to actually become a nurse. We're not here just to say, well, let's start it. Anybody can start something, but we want to see it completed. And I think this is what I like what you do, because you're very crucial in this, Pat, because of helping people to navigate it individually through this. And that's the point I want to make to every listener out here. We try to work with people on an individual basis, because everybody's needs are different. And at any rate,
but the program can be completed in as short as 2 semesters.
Okay.
It's designed to be 1 year or less. That's what college certificates are designed to be. But there's some people that stretch it out. Maybe it's another semester or 2
Sure.
additionally to help space out the workload balance with your work life. But for somebody that wants one of those turnkey programs that they know they're going to get return on investment and get a skill now, practical nursing is one of those career tracks.
yes. Well, and when you can start out with that, and then there's so many things in nursing that you can build upon that. Correct, Pat? I mean,
Yes, we have a program that will take you from the LPN to an RN. That and then we even have after the RN, a BSN program. It's all right here at North Central.
well, I think it's now. I guess okay. I'm out here. I'm sold on this. All right. I'm out here listening to this podcast. How do I get involved in this? Or, well, you mean, where do I begin?
give us a call at the Success Center, and we will bring you in, and I'll explain the program to you. And then if you are ready to pull the trigger, Nate is the specialist on application, and we'll even help you get started on the FAFSA that day.
Okay, and that's for financial aid, for those who don't know what that acronym means.
Yeah, just to lay out the timeline, right now is optimal to get yourself applied, and you could begin taking classes, which we talked about spring semester, where the program for our evening cohort begins in May, correct, Pat? The evening group. So, and then we have a daytime program that begins in August, but you can start taking classes this spring, working towards getting into the program and taking a few courses that do not have any prerequisites. Now would be an ideal time to kind of space that out, have a good work-life balance, and start investing in yourself right now.
Well, can this program can this be completed locally?
Yes, our courses are online mostly. There's a couple labs for the. There's a lab for microbiology, and there's also a lab for anatomy and physiology. There you have to go to main campus.
Yes.
But that's about it. We have a lab at the Success Center that once they're in the program that they will be at the Success Center for if they want to take it. And the rest of it they can complete from their home.
And clinicals are local as well. So you get your hands-on training at one of our area nursing homes or hospital systems, and you get that local experience right here in Crawford County.
Yeah. And I would always advise people, too, is that, because this can be very overwhelming, this whole process, is, just relax. Take a breath. We will see you through this. And it's one step at a time. And that's how you have to complete these things. It's one step at a time. And I always say, we'll see you get there. If you're into it and you mean business that you want to do this, it can be accomplished, and you will accomplish it. It's really that simple. Now, what's the market right now? I would take it in nursing would be phenomenal, correct?
Yes, it is. It's wide open.
If you go on job postings, almost every facility in our area has postings for LPNs and RNs. Our hospital systems have huge demands. When we talk to our people that are graduating from the program, most have a job, if not all, before graduation. So people are looking to get their hands on them before they even graduate. You think about, this industry has manpower shortages just like other companies, except in this case, you have to be licensed. It's not just a body showing up to work. You have to have a licensure to have this type of job fulfilled. And so there's definitely a shortage and a huge demand and need. Turn on your local radio or your newspaper, and you can hear just the job postings and signing bonuses that employers are ready to hire people in nursing.
It's a phenomenal thing, and what I like is what Pat had brought up earlier. You can start and become an LPN, but there's many ways to advance in this. More expertise, obviously, and the more things that you're in, obviously I always say the pay grade goes up, I would take, because you have more responsibility forever. So I would say the sky's pretty much the limit in nursing. Am I correct, or am I just oversimplifying that?
Correct. And we have many of the employers we speak with, they have programs that will help them, give them a schedule that will allow them to, after they're an LPN, take the RN courses, because they're not quite as flexible in terms of when you can take them and when you have to be like in person. But the employers want their employees to continue on, so it's a great.
Well, it's a benefit to the employer, and if you already have somebody and you're an employee, you already know if they're a decent worker, you want them there, because it's already hard enough to get qualified people the way it is. So they're going to work with you once you're employed, and we're going to work with you to see that you can reach your dream of becoming an LPN, and then move on up the ladder if that's what you so desire. But the first step of this is you got to get through the door. All right. So many options there. First, what would you suggest, Dave? How would you suggest? I'm coming in off the street. I heard this wonderful podcast with you two here this morning. How would I start? What would I do?
Yeah, come into the Crawford Success Center. We're at 130 North Walnut Street in Bucyrus, across the street from the courthouse. No appointment needed, but feel free to give us a call at 419-755-9039. Our staff would be glad to set up an appointment, whether it's face-to-face in my office, over Zoom, digitally, maybe on the phone, whatever mode that you need to connect with, we'll make sure to get in contact and get you started. We can help connect you to get started for funding through FAFSA support. You could be eligible up to $7,395 up to based on need. We can connect you to other resources as well around the area to help provide that for funding. But basically, it's just getting started, getting connected. Come in, we'll sit down. Pat will talk about the program in detail. I'll sit down with you as well. We'll talk about the enrollment steps, but it's free. You're automatically accepted when you complete the application. And once we get your high school transcript, we can get you to your advisor to start planning classes.
Well, Pat, you got something else you'd like to add in here as in the waning moments of this podcast today?
Wow. If you've thought about it, it was on the back of your mind, come in, dip your toe in the water, and we'll talk to you about it and help you if this is what you want to do, if that's what you decide.
I just think of, you can do it. There was a girl that graduated from our program 2 years ago. I remember she told me she was the first person in her family to graduate from high school, not college. And she then went into the workforce, and in her 30s came back to school at North Central here at the Crawford Success Center. And she completed the practical nursing program and became an LPN. And then she spoke at graduation on behalf of her graduating class. She lived right here locally. She had multiple kids at home that she was juggling, and she made it through the program. And I remember she said, if I can do it, you can do it. And that's the bottom line. You can do it, and it starts with getting started and walking through the door, and let's get it rolling.
That's a very good point to leave this podcast on, because that's where I was going to go with this too. Don't look at everything in life as a hurdle, and we can help you lower some of these hurdles. Some of these hurdles, you people make things a mountain out of a molehill. Just like you say, maybe they have children at home. There's ways around it. We have people from all backgrounds come into programs that go to our college. And we try to accommodate and work it around it. But believe me, if you have a will to do this and you're disciplined and become disciplined, you will make it. And you follow along. We'll take you at a nice pace. We'll take you at the pace that you individually need, not that we're trying to cram everybody at one speed through here. That's another thing. It's pretty individualized at what we can do. But yes, it is hard work, but I'll tell you what, it'll probably be I know financially and for your family and everything, probably one of the best things you can do is invest in an education. And so I want to thank Nate Harvey, the manager of the Crawford Success Center, and Pat Hargis, the Pre-PN Success Facilitator. I love that title. That's almost like being a queen or a king or something. I don't know. I guess I don't. But I got her laughing over here. Thank you both for being on the podcast today. I wish you all the success at the Success Center and for this new year. And I should tell everyone out there, of course, I think everybody in town knows that I am a trustee on that board. That way somebody say, well, how does he know so much about it? Or why is he involved in it? Because I believe in what they're doing there. I wouldn't serve on that board if I didn't believe in it. So thank you very much for being on the podcast.